In X's mind, anytime Zero was happy after what had happened and the rapid voice outbursting was a good thing. Aw, Zero, were you worried about me? X teased. Shut up, X, Zero said, trying to regain his composure. X couldn't help but laugh. Anyway, X, glad to see you awake, X said, grinning with his mischievous teenage grin. We should let X get his rest. We can talk to him when he can move around and feels better, X said, not wanting to overexert his best friend. Alia nodded in agreement, and X and Zero left the room, while Alia stayed behind for a moment longer. X, when you feel like it after you're up, come visit me in my room, please, Alia said, nervous to be around the Sir Hunter now that he was actually awake and most likely remembered what she had said to him. Of course, X said, drifting back out to sleep. Alia's room. Alia sat on her bed in human form, wearing a nightgown, brushing her hair, getting ready for bed. 2 days had passed since X had finally woken up, and even though herself, along with Zero and Axel, would go to check up on him, he was still under orders from Hydra not to leave his room. She set her hairbrush aside and glanced once more at the picture of X on her desk, before grabbing it and setting it face down. Before she could move from her desk, though, she heard a knock on the door. Just a minute, Alia said, wondering who would be knocking on her door this time of the night. She got up, grabbed a robe, pulled it around her, and tied it close, then went inside her bed. Come in, Alia called out. The door opened and X stepped in. Alia jumped up and rushed to X, taking him into a hug, and this time he didn't almost fall apart. Hello to you too, X said. Oh, X, I'm happy you're okay and finally able to leave your room. Although it's kind of an odd hour for Hydra to finally release you, Alia said, letting him go and sitting back down in her bed. Feeling out of place in his own room with Alien in her human form, X turned into his own human form, which right now was a big task for him, but he didn't like feeling out of place, so he felt it was justified. Alia had only seen the Blue Bomber's human form a couple of times. Despite his smile, realizing X was actually kind of handsome in his rarely used human form. He had kind of messy short brown hair. He wasn't thin or fat, just kind of built and wore a white t-shirt with a 100-issue jacket over it that was blue with white trim, with his X symbol colored in gold on the left shoulder, and blue jeans along with black boots. X walked over and sat down at Alia's desk. Wanting to break the ice between them, and to get rid of the awkward silence that had now filled the room, the Azure Hunter finally decided to speak. Alia, tell me, who did my repairs? X asked. It was getting a Hydra, what do you ask? Alia asked in response. They did a pretty good job with all things considered. The repairs are only temporary, however. For me to be fully functional, I'll do what I can myself and then find one of Light's capsules to finish them, X said. Oh? The Spider inquired. Yeah, before when I would get an armor upgrade from one, it would always heal my battle damage no matter how severe. I figured the same would happen now as well, the Blue Bomber replied. Elliot smiled at X, realizing now more than ever when he was on the battlefield, he truly was smart and a deep thinker. X then went to speak again, then stopped himself, obviously mulling over in his mind what he was wanting to say. This worried the Hunter Spider a little because she knew what had happened during the fight with Gigas would come up sooner or later. Finally, X found the courage to speak once more. Alia, before I blacked out, you said you loved me. Is this true? X asked a bit nervously. Alia gulped a little. She had at least hoped he wouldn't be so direct about it. Yes, I did, Alia said, her voice giving away her embarrassment, and she blushed a little. He stared her hunted out for a minute, trying again to find the right words. It was hard for him to admit that he loved her as well, even if it wasn't meant to be until peace was finally achieved. Well, Alia, there really isn't any footing it at this point. I have never really been a good person myself, but I love you as well. But you know we can't be until I have achieved peace in this world. Created at a time, if you will, X said. Alia sighed, knowing X would probably say something along those lines. Her mind went back to when Zero had spoken to her about X. She was not give this up without a fight. She would not let X do this to himself anymore. X, you deserve a normal life just as much as the rest of us. Just because you fight for peace doesn't mean you have to keep yourself constantly sheltered from everyone other than Zero. Let me help you as well, X. Let me be by your side and we can fight for peace together. I can help you in ways even Zero can't, Alia pleaded. Alia's words took X by total surprise. He didn't think she would make such a compelling argument, but she was really smart after all. Smarter than maybe even him, and that's one of the many attractive qualities he found in the spotter. Alia, X tried to say. X, please let me in. I want to be with you. I love you too much, and I don't think my life would be complete anymore if you weren't around, Alia interrupted. She didn't decide that took them both by surprise. Ayla got to her feet and moved over to where the Azure Hunter sat and grabbed X's hand. The spider then put him in close to her, and she propped herself up enough to reach X's lips with her own and kissed the blue bomber deeply. The kiss seemed to last forever in her mind before she finally parted from him. The blue bomber just stood there staring at her, totally awestruck. X knew at this point he wouldn't be able to argue against her, so finally he just decided to accept that she was adamant about becoming a part of his life. He also knew in the end, after all that had happened, Zero would find a way to convince and force him into this anyway, and he had to admit, at this point, despite his protesting, he really did want him to be a part of his life. Zero stood aside and listened and confessed to Elliot's room. He had seen his best friend shortly after he left the medical bay and had followed him here. He had originally meant to eavesdrop, but this being X, he decided to go through with it in case X decided to do something really dumb, which he almost did. Ailey, however, had actually gone through to him, just like he knew would be able to do. A sad smile crossed his lips because this made him think of Iris, knowing they would complete each other like Iris had completed him. Watch them, Iris. Don't let a fate that befell us happen to them. Zero mused, looking at the roof. The following morning, Cygnus called X, Zero, Axel, and Ailey into a meeting. We are all happy to have X back with us, but until he is at 100%, he isn't clear for battle, which means that Zero and Axel, this mission falls into your hands. Cygnus explained. What do you have for us? Zero asked. We have reports of Mavericks trying to unearth an unknown source on the border mines. Your mission, hunters, is to go investigate what they are trying to unearth, and eliminate the Maverick threat before they do anything that could do some serious harm, Cygnus explained. Whew, finally some action again. I think I was starting to rust with all this inactivity, Axel said. I feel like I'm starting to get whiplash. First the Mavericks are relentless, they just disappear entirely for a while, Zero stated. Since Ailey is still on vacation leave, you two will have to fend for yourselves, Cygnus said. Easy enough, Cygnus. X and I used to handle missions with ease long before any of you came along. I think we can handle it, the Red Death said. Way to make us sound older than dirt, X said to his best friend, and grinned at him as Zero and Axel teleported out. Now then, X, I want you to take the time to find a means to get yourself back to 100%. Zero and Axel can't do it all by themselves forever, the Commander-in-Chief said. With a nod, X left the room with Ailey following right behind. Hey X, before you get too involved in working on repairing yourself, why don't we go do something? Ailey suggested. Like what? I've never been in a relationship before, X admitted. I know, why don't we go for a picnic? I've always wanted to do that, and I'm sure your patches can handle at least that much, Ailey said. Works for me, it's a beautiful day, the Azure Hunter said. Great, I'll get everything we need, the Spark stated happily. I'll go get my hover cycle ready, X commented. And then there were three. As always, R&R no matter what you have to say.